Hello, Robotics Notes fans. It is a sweltering 4th of July. It is 2:14 p.m. Cutting it closer every single time I record this. Whew. It is hot out. And there's probably going to be fireworks in the background of this. There were fireworks at noon. At noon I was hearing fireworks out my window. What are you even accomplishing at that point? I'm going to load the save data for July 4th. My favorite holiday, July 3.0 plus 1.0. Twice upon a time. Please read this. Proposal for making Gunbarrel Prototype Model 1 move properly. What is this? It's a proposition that I put together. 4 days after joining the club, Subaru finally visited the club room by his own will. But as soon as he appeared, he gave me these notes. Most people don't hand out stuff like this on paper these days, so I'm a little surprised. Why do you seem so uptight? Now that you're here, you should try and relax. What, wanna skull? I'm stunned you can remain so calm in a little rabbit shed like this. Rabbit shed. Well, this place was a storage room once, so he's not that off. Heh. Humans are creatures that can adapt to their environment. And anyway, we have a hangar for constructing Gun Build 1. The club room doesn't matter that much. I see. That attitude of yours is proof that being a loser is ingrained in you. It's rather pitiable. He always has to say things in the meanest way possible. Well, I certainly have no intention of tagging along with such a tepid way of doing things. I care little about your position as an upperclassman or president. Keep that in mind as you read my proposal. Then when Kai gets here, 30 minutes have already gone by and he's nowhere to be found. Ugh. This is weird. Kai's never skipped club practice. Not that he ever helps when he is here, but... seriously, where did he go? He vanished right after class yesterday too. He's not answering my calls or messages. Nothing like this has ever happened before. I'm feeling weird about this. Maybe it's because we're always together. Ugh. Ugh, that look Subaru's giving is just screams, "Get on with it!" Fine, I'll read it already. Couldn't you have just sent it to me in an email? I don't know your email address. If you asked, I would have told you. It's too much of a pain to have to ask you for things. I resist the urge to tell him off while I look over the proposal. Let's see. I'll explain it as you read. That'd be great. Now I don't actually have to read it. The long and short of it is, it's a change to the design concept of Prototype Model 1. Wait. What do you mean by change? I looked over the blueprints you gave me yesterday. As I predicted, they are a relic of the past. The way he puts it makes me real angry. What am I supposed to do? The blueprints were drawn up 9 years ago. Indeed. And in that sense, they're not bad for something a high schooler put together a decade ago. But that's all. It hasn't been a decade, it's been 9 years. Giant robots a decade ago could only stand, at most moving their heads, like the Gundam and Odaiba. But times have changed. We're in the middle of a genuine robot boom now. Nations all over the world are pouring money into their own giant robot projects. That's the era we live in. It's during that very era that this robot club of yours wants to brazenly participate in the expo, am I correct? Of course. We're in it to win it, Jaquin. Hey, you just laughed. A word of advice, if you will. Save your sleep talk for when you sleep. You're a jerk. I told you I don't care if you're an upperclassman or a club president. I don't care about status. We can't win against robots being built on a national level. The funding, people involved, the scale is too different. Do you have any idea how much a giant robot, for example, a Gundam, would seriously cost to build? Maybe around 10 million yen? This calculation was made about a decade ago, but the material cost alone would be around 80 billion yen. Ugh. That said, Gundam is too fantastical, so the robots being built worldwide are on a slightly lower budget. Still highly doubt any of them would be below 10 billion yen though. Do you understand what the reality is now? Yeah. By the way, about how much has been spent on Prototype Model 1 so far? Most of its exterior was constructed using reprocessed scrap the club got for free. The only thing we spent money on are the servo motors and the waste. With all that considered, I think around 1 million yen total. Hehe. If we could immediately use the prize money from Robo 1, we could double our development spending. But I'm trying not to think about that anymore. If I do, I know I'm gonna... If I do, I don't know if I'll be able to stop myself from bursting down the door to the principal's office. I'm not gonna let this get me down. Heck to the no! There's no difference between 1 or 2 million yen at this level. It's all chump change in comparison. Ah! Subaru's merciless words pierce my chest. If you still insist on participating at the expo, it needs to at least be capable of walking. It'll be able to walk according to the current design. Unfortunately, by my estimation, it won't. Huh? Why not? Because it hasn't been built according to the blueprints. Wait, huh? There's no way that's... Let me ask, can you say for sure that you've been building Prototype Model 1 according to design? Of course, we absolutely have. No, you haven't. Subaru pulls up the Gun Build 1 blueprints on his phone droid, then shoves the screen right up to my nose. What are these additions? Those are improvements that the previous Robot Club members made. You mean downgrades. We had to get by with a lack of money and parts. Things have been tough, okay? And we can't always get the materials of the size that we want. Plus, reprocessing them isn't easy. They said it was reworked to make use of the materials they got and so as to waste as little as possible. That's what my predecessor told me, and what their predecessor told them. So to sum things up, Model 1 was not built according to the blueprints. Well, I guess not. Due to that, its form is all off. I feel sorry for both the designer and the robot. Then if we just get rid of all the extra bits and return back to the original, can you really reverse it? Isn't Prototype Model 1 quite far into construction? About 70%. Then you're speaking nonsense. Ah! Then what will you do, Subaru? I'm clearly upset with him, but his expression stays the same. The old blueprints as well as what you have of Prototype Model 1. Subaru seems to purposely pause, then he pushes his glasses up with a finger. They should be discarded. Huh? I doubt my ears. I can't believe it. I never thought for a moment that he would say those words. How can you just say something like that like it's no big deal? We only just managed to avoid having it scrapped by the vice principal. Wait, don't tell me you're actually working for her. If it makes you feel better, feel free to think that. He laughed at me again. After our discussion, you should understand that starting from square one is the fastest option. What discussion? Subaru's just been going on and on about his own ideas. I'll handle the design work. I'm gonna take a sippy of my drink. Here it comes. Here it comes, gamers. Oh. Incredible. What form? Anything unnecessary to the design will be removed in their entirety. I wrote down the details in this proposal, but there are two major points. One, the cockpit is to be removed. The remote operation is the norm, so having an operator inside is irrational. Hold it. Stop. Are you seriously going to get rid of the cockpit? Are you out of your mind? Even the original gun barrel. Genki piloted it from the inside. Giant robots are meant to be piloted from within. So you reject the very existence of Megantor then? That's not what I meant. Besides, I'm ultimately against using Gunbarrel as the model for this project. If you're going to model it after something, make it more realistic and reproducible machine. The Cart Looper is full of design holes. It's not Cart Looper, it's Cart Trooper. Subaru couldn't care less about my correction. Regardless, it's meaningless either way. What do you mean? Proposition number 2 is the complete removal of the exterior. We're just gonna get rid of the whole robot. No interior, no exterior. The exterior? You mean the armor? I never even considered that. Why? Because it's a terrible idea. Even at the blueprint stage, Prototype Model 1 hasn't cleared the problem of its overall weight. The construction done on it so far has made the legs thicker than the blueprint. Standing will be a struggle. To make this thing walk, it'll require massive weight reduction. Its exterior is currently the most useless part. But without the armor, it'll be a skeleton. Nobody would be able to tell it it's Gunbarrel. How lame would that be? This isn't about looking cool or lame. If it can't move, it's just a lump of metal junk. But if there's no armor or no cockpit, there's no point in even making the upper body. If the cockpit was removed from Gun Build 1, it'd be no better than a paper mache. The inside would be hollow. And it'd reduce its defense. What are you talking about? You know, defense, like armor and stuff. Who or what are you intending on fighting? Do you think the giant robots that fight at the expo like in Robo 1? Hearing him say it out loud was the first time it actually dawns on me. I've been working on Gun Build 1 for over 2 years now. To think it took me so long to realize it. Oh right, it's not fighting anything. The expo only has demos. While there are no set rules for the content of said demos, I doubt fighting is allowed. You clearly watch too much anime. Aren't you older than me? How sad. Excuse me? The very nature of a giant robot of justice is to fight. They exist to defeat evil. A giant robot doesn't fight, it's just a giant robot. Yeah. You laughed at me again. Justice is relative, and besides, such values mean nothing in terms of the current giant robot development. Or are you saying the Earth is in danger of being destroyed by evil aliens or some mad scientist? Search as you might, you'll never find such anime-esque plot developments in the real world. The expo is purely a competition based around development. Spare no expenses to utilize cutting-edge technology. But oh well. I'm not that fixated on the whole justice thing, it's just... Truth be told, it's simply because Misa modeled it after Gunbarrel. That's all. Gunbarrel is a giant robot of justice, and I'm building Gunbarrel. The Robot Club isn't specifically trying to make a giant robot of justice. It's justice is all about a feeling you get. Blech. Excuse me, one moment. I appear to be having a problem. There we go. Problem solved. We did it, gamers. Justice is all about a feeling. Yeah, a feeling. Heh. Either way, justice or not, there's no fighting at the expo. If your idea of what giant robots are is that childish, you should disband the Robot Club immediately. If you make such assertions at the expo venue, you'll be the laughing stock of the world. Subaru shrugs his shoulders and grins at me. Grr. This punk is basically an anime villain. I knew he was hard to handle, but I didn't think he'd be this much of a jerk face. By the way, that 70% complete prototype Model 1 is to be disassembled. Most of the parts can be reused, so that'll help cover the lack of funding. I take a deep breath and hand the proposal back to Subaru. Unacceptable. Even after everything I've said? I told you, unacceptable. That's that. You really intend to bring that defective prototype Model 1 to the expo? Same one that can't even walk? Don't say it like that. Before I realize it myself, I've snapped. felt like he was making fun of Misa, and I couldn't take it anymore. Please don't be so mean. So frustrating that it makes me want to cry, but I resist the urge. Gunbuild 1 is something every member of the Robot Club has worked their hardest to slowly build for years. It's the history of the Robot Club itself. How could you expect me to just casually throw all that away? I can't. Want to bring that robot to the expo. This project was started by Misa, then worked on by everyone for 9 years. It's a crystallization of their efforts. So yeah, I reject everything you just said. This is nonsense. I don't give a damn if it is. Club president's orders. Dab, 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 dab. I stare him in the eyes and declare this clearly and concisely. After giving me a cold look for a moment, Subaru shrugs his shoulders slightly. In that case, I have nothing further to say. Originally, I was planning to hand you my club withdrawal notice, not that proposal. Huh? You can't quit. I won't. If I did, Yashio-senpai would reveal my secret identity, right? Oh yeah, that's exactly it. I'll be staying in the club. Just keep in mind that I did my bare minimum as a member, and now with that proposal. With that, Subaru turns his back to me. I'll be doing as I wish now. I don't plan on assisting you in any way. Now if you'll excuse me. Subaru coldly spits out his final words and leaves. I head to Kai's spot in the shade of the tree and space out while staring at the blueprints Misa drew up. You can't throw it all away. Joined the Robot Club because these blueprints and Gunbuild 1 existed. It's one of the few things that Misa left behind on this island. Proof that she was once here. I could never get rid of that. Hey. I attempt to shower Mizuki-san with the usual flattery once I enter the store, but there's no one at the register. Where could she be? Welcome! I hear Mizuki-san's voice come from deeper in the store. I take a peek to see her sitting on a step doing maintenance on her hug. Yo! Oh, it's just you, Kai. Looking beautiful as always. Doing hug maintenance? Yep. Been a while since I last saw Mizuki-san with her hug off. It was a gift from Misane after she joined EXCA. The crash of 15, a fierce solar disturbance that caused global scale malfunctions and signal interference. That was when Mizuki-san was in a traffic accident. Her legs badly hurt. Misane gifted her this hug. I might be bad with machines, but I at least need to do this myself. That said, all I really need to do is oil the servo motors and tighten some screws and wipe the surface clean. I always thought it was strange. Can't someone from EXCA handle that for you? There is a hug engineer assigned to me, more or less. But this island doesn't have an official dealership. They come from Kagoshima once a month. Such is the life of us island dwellers, am I right? Bingo. Ever considered having a local workshop take a look at it? Not possible. Hugs are like black boxes. You sign a contract at purchase that says only hug engineers can do maintenance on them. Huh? The maintenance fees are stupidly high. Honestly, sounds kind of like a ripoff. I don't want to say that since Misane works there, but I bet these tactics are how EXCA got big so quick. Adults sure do play dirty. As if you've got a clue. She smirks at me. Anyway, that's enough preamble. Mizuki-san, can I get one of those? Mizuki-san's eyes sharply narrow the second I make my requests. They're the eyes of a predator that has spotted their prey. A bit tied up right now, so grab it yourself. I steal my resolve and take one passion fruit bun out of the steamer next to the register. As usual, it's warmed and steamed just right. Here goes. I wipe tears away once it's all down the hatch. I can feel my stomach acids trying to come up my throat, but I keep everything down as much as I can. Delicious, right? No comment. Mizuka-san finished her hug tuning while I experienced hell. She effortlessly reattaches it to her legs. So Kai, what you want to know this time? I gulp down mineral water in an attempt to get rid of that horrific aftertaste. I breathe deep, rearranging my thoughts. Let's start with a light jab. Could you introduce me to any people or companies that might be willing to sponsor the Robot Club? Yesterday, Akio was grieving over the fact that we can't use our prize money, so I figured I should ask while I'm here. The club didn't get disbanded, right? It narrowly escaped with its life, but they aren't funding us. The Robo One prize money is on hold. If it's not one thing, it's another when it comes to you, Kai. Well, your fastest option is gonna be... A name escapes Mizuka-san's lips that I wasn't at all expecting. Michi. Consider asking him. That broke dude who only ever buys protein? He'd never cough up the cash. While he might live in poverty, his uncle is the president of some big company. God damn it, what is this mother twerp frick? Alright, we're back. Wait, seriously? This is news to my ears. He's a bit quirky, but if you win him over, he might give you some money. Michi's uncle. Can't even imagine what sort of person we're dealing with. Actually, I'm not sure I want to meet him. Granted, I would be the negotiator here. This one would be on Akiho. Poke around for others willing to sponsor you. Unfortunately, I doubt I'll find very many. Appreciated nonetheless. Now for the real deal. Alright, now for the real reason I'm here. More questions? You know the deal. Mizuka-san's eyes point to the steamer. I recall the taste from just a few moments ago, and once again feel my stomach juices trying to push their way up. I feel like throwing up, but desperately hold it back. Consider it my way of showing that 2 a day is impossible. Fine, fine. You're off the hook this time, so what is it? Tell me any rumors you've heard about ghosts appearing in Uchigaoka. There are ghosts there? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm not really sure what to tell you. Stuff like that is out of my wheelhouse. But I do know someone who knows way more about the occult and urban legends than me. Interested? You're a lifesaver. Who is it? Actually directed you to her for a different request. Juna Daitaku. For real? Yet another unexpected name pops up. I guess she isn't just a karate girl. She's kind of a maniac when it comes to ghost stuff. This'll be a pain, but it sounds like it's worth giving me a shot. Uchigaoka Park is an important place to me. There's nowhere else I can really focus on my gaming. That's right. This is a battle to protect the place where I play Kill Ballad. Or so I say to myself in an attempt to work up some enthusiasm. And ladies and gentlemen, that is another episode of Robotics Notes Elite, like Animal Crossing. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, update. I still haven't found the trigger on my controller. So we're doing this triggerless. I mean, it still works. Like, I can still press it. It's just it's missing the little cover bit. So that's unfortunate. But I'll keep you posted. I'm still looking for it. That being said, see you tomorrow. No Chio!